What is going on today, guys? So as you can tell by the title of the video, you already know what we've got here in this case. But before we open the case, I just want to point out, this is actually a really nice case. It's got no markings or anything on it. It's pretty plain Jane and simple, but it's a very well made case. Good hard plastic, works perfect for the gun that is inside. I will definitely not be getting rid of this case. This is definitely something I'm going to keep. I really like that they used a good case. They didn't just throw it in a cardboard box or something, but they actually gave it a legitimate good case. So anyway, let's go ahead and crack it open, see what we've got inside. Of course, the Stribog by Grand Power. What do we have in the box? We've got the manual here. Don't need that. We've got some replacement flip-up peep sights. I looked at them compared to the ones that are actually on the gun. They look to be the same. So I think they're just replacement sights. I guess because they're plastic, they figure, you know what, just in case it breaks, we'll send you with an extra pair of sights, which I do appreciate. It probably doesn't cost them hardly anything to include these cheap little pop-up peep sights, if I can say that properly. 330 round magazines. We also have a rear receiver plate. So if you want to take your brace off here, we've got the brace, you can take it off and then put the rear plate back on, because this replaces that plate at the back. So let's see what we got with the gun itself as it comes in the box. We've got this right here, right? Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty nice, pretty clean looking. This is kind of what it looks like without the brace on there, if you look at it from this side, which I'm not too big a fan of. But once you take the brace out, I love the look of this gun. I think that looks pretty damn sharp, and that's what made me want it, is because it just looked cool with this brace on there. So what do we got going here? Well, simple blowback 9mm. That's what we got. It's very simple. If you take this apart, it's just, there's almost nothing to it. You've got an 8.5 inch barrel. You've got your bolt that rides in this carrier that's up here. That of course is attached to your charging handle. Blowback again, it's just really simple. There's not a lot to this gun. The internals here are almost identical to an AR trigger, to the point that I've heard the company say that there are actually a lot of AR triggers out there on the market that will actually work in this gun. So you could potentially, I would obviously check with the manufacturers first before you go spend money on an expensive trigger, but there you could potentially change out this trigger for something that's a little bit nicer. But speaking of the trigger itself, it's actually a really nice trigger. It's a little on the heavy side for something like this. It's probably about an 8-pound trigger, give or take. I don't know, I didn't weigh it exactly, just from the feel of it. But it's got basically no take-up. Here's the take-up here. Did you see that? I mean, it's almost non-existent. And then what you've got after that is a really crisp, clean braking trigger. I mean, it's a really nice trigger. And as far as reset, there's almost nothing there, just like with the take-up. So really nice trigger from what I can tell out of the box, and you could probably just take this trigger and polish it up and make this a fantastic trigger. We've got polymer lower, aluminum upper, internals obviously all steel with your bolt, carrier, and barrel. You've got side charging handle over here, which is ambidextrous. This is the A1 model, so it's got the free float charging handle. So what that means is, if you put your hand up here, you're not going to break your thumb when you fire it, because the charging handle isn't going to reciprocate, if I can speak today, along with the bolt, which is a nice little upgrade. And again, it's ambidextrous. If you take the bolt out, you move this charging handle all the way to right here, pop this out, put it in on the other side. Real simple, real easy to do if you're left-handed. You've got your bolt lock and bolt release right here. It's on both sides. It's ambidextrous. Drop it down to release the bolt. You want to lock the bolt back, push it up. Pretty simple, pretty easy to go. As far as the magazines, 30-round magazines, they feel all right. I mean, they're plastic, but they seem to be fairly thick plastic. Seem to fit in there nice, lock in really good. But magazine releases here on both sides. It's ambidextrous on both sides, so you can just drop the mags out, and it does drop the mags out with a little bit of a push, even empty. So you've got a little bit of a spring push there, a little spring tension in there that really makes sure you eject that mag properly. As far as the safety goes, safety can only be engaged when you've actually charged the gun. So flip it back like that. Again, ambidextrous on both sides. You want to flip it off, you just push forward with your thumb, and your safety is off. That's basically it. That's all you got to do. So there's that. All right. Nice rail on top. I'm probably going to put a red dot on it. got a rail on bottom, good for a light or something like that, maybe an AFG if you want to run something there. Good texturing on the front of the mag well as far as like getting a grip if you're going to hold it like this. Also, good flare on the mag well. Nice flare on the mag well. Really, really easy to load a mag without really having to look at it too much. It just slides right in. So, definitely cool there. Peep sights, flip up peep sights up here. Pretty rudimentary, but they do work, so there is that. Other than that, man, there's not much to it. This is a very, very simple gun. Very, very simple design. And in that simplicity, I think, are the makings for just a good solid gun. Is this going to be the next MP5? No. No, it's not. Is this going to be the next BNT? No. You don't have the same, fit and finish and that kind of stuff going on with this as you would with some of those. But that being said, you can pick this thing up for $7.99. That's how much I paid for it. $7.99. And that's just really hard to beat for something like this. Something where you've got the brace, you've got something in a nice small package. This would be great for home defense. I mean, I would take this over an AR in a home defense situation any day, just from the standpoint of having to shoot indoors. I don't know anybody that's ever fired an AR-15 indoors or at least just fired an AR-15 without hearing protection. They're deafening, and in a bad situation, you don't want to lose one of your senses. Something like this potentially could fit that scenario a lot better. And again, for $7.99, that's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal at all. Anyway, but yeah, that's it. That's the basics of the gun. I'm not going to tear it apart and do the internals or anything like that. I'll probably do that in a separate video. And then after I get to the range, I'll do a full review. But so far, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the build quality, with the features, with just how it just seems to be a solid design overall. So just out of the box, I'm happy already. So there you go. There's my quick little overview. Hope you enjoyed it. Got any questions, comments, anything like that? Be sure to leave those down below. And take it easy, guys. We'll see you.